Recently, I challenged myself to try to draw for a whole month. Not necessarily to improve my drawing skills, but though I did improve some, but more to establish a daily drawing habit for myself, which I haven't had for quite some time. In doing this challenge, I didn't set up any rules or have any end goals or anything like that. And the drawings I did aren't even finished drawings, they're just mostly sketches. I was trying not to put too much pressure on myself to complete anything. I didn't have a time limit. It was just whatever time I could find, I would sit down and draw whatever came to mind. I use Pinterest a lot for inspiration. Now, this video isn't to try to convince you to draw every day. I know there's conflicting information on YouTube and the internet about should you draw every day, shouldn't you draw every day, don't pressure yourself, stuff like that. This is just my experience and the thing that I wanted to do to try to get myself in that habit. I wanted that habit of drawing every day. I enjoy it. It helps me feel complete, fulfills my day, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. I just have this desire to draw, and finding time with a family and job and church responsibilities can be difficult at times. A lot of the times my drawing was done at night, either after everybody's gone to bed or my family was watching a show that I didn't really care to watch. And the end result turned out pretty positive. I do have a little project that I'm working on now that I'm really motivated with, and I'll share some of that at the end of the video. So here's where we get into the meat of what became my monthly challenge. I started on May 21st of this year and drew this drive-through bird here. Wasn't my favorite drawing, but I wasn't going for perfection or anything like that. This is why everything is a sketch. I was just trying to get something down on paper with the allotted time that I had, and just went each day and tried to do at least one. So here's the next day. This guy was inspired by a picture I found on Pinterest of a bunch of flamingos, so I figured I'd give him a little story. So he's stepped in a pile of poo there. And the next day you got a little tennis girl, a witch. This witch right here was a basic redraw of somebody else's art, just to see if I could draw it, how closely I could draw it, and make it look just like his. This right here is inspired a lot by Ian McHugh's art. He has a lot, if you've ever seen his art, he does a lot of floating vehicles and ships and stuff like that, and this was kind of inspired by that. If you haven't looked up his art, look it up. Again, here's one more version of the little maintenance locomotives I did for the trolley line, though this one is more a little space age with its rocket boosters. A little gnome, a rooster laying an egg, and I try to always put a little, not always I should say, but a lot of times I like to put humor into my drawings. So here you have a rooster laying an egg. This is a cleaning robot. With this one here, I do this first and then try to caricaturize it even more, as far as I could, and I was really happy with how this one came out. I love the engine. Got a bird stepping on a worm. And this one is a lot of fun. I always surprise myself sometimes with that I'm actually able to complete the drawings. But obviously this is the Wizard of Oz, and I can't remember if I used a photograph or another illustrator's artwork based off. It's not a copy, this is my version, but it may have been based off somebody else's artwork. I don't remember. A real tough guy cowering with a mouse, offering some cheese. You got different robot versions, which I always find fascinating. I'd like to do more of those. Here you got a big giant brushing a little dolly's hair. So I thought that was fun to try to get the pose. The pose was, these poses like this were like 3/4 views are really difficult for me. So this was real satisfying to be able to complete that. Kid pretending with a spear, and then my version of Vector. I think this was based on somebody else's art.
Just have him lazing on the couch there. Just a general kid walking down the street, and this one was fun. This is based on a photograph of an older gentleman doing, I think that's an ollie on his skateboard. This is based on the, I think it's Guillermo's Pinocchio. I think that's how you say it. Just my version of that, the wooden puppet they created for that stop motion film. Skydiving chicken, and then a dragon character. Almost has a Dr. Seuss feel, and I think maybe that's what I was going for. Here you see, some days, like I said earlier, I managed to get more than one drawing in, so I just did a bunch of different chickens in different styles, which was fun to try to do. Always find it challenging to try a different style or change my style when I have such a set way of drawing to do something like this. It really stretches your abilities when you do stuff like that. This here is just a challenge to come up with a bunch of different vehicles. I looked at some Pinterest and photographs for different inspiration. This one was a lot of fun, just jacked up off the ground. But this one here I liked a lot, and I circled it just as an idea to expand further, and I did render it, and that's what comes up next. So here's the rendered version of that vehicle. And I did videotape this one. And if you're interested, let me know in the comments. I'll post the video online if you're interested in seeing how this one was created. Again, some just different ideas of illustrations each day. There's a drunk bumblebee there. Not that I promote that as a children's illustration, but it's just what was on my mind at the time. Bear at the bus stop, and I think this guy started as some kind of Viking or something. You see his big blade there, which he probably and realistically couldn't pick up, but I just thought it was kind of a fun idea. And with this one and the next one, I thought it'd be kind of fun to show animals in situations you might not see them in because of either their height or weight. So I took this one and have a giraffe playing volleyball, which I thought this was really fun to figure out and get the pose correctly. You see my little preliminary sketch there. And again, with the elephant, you know, I did a little sketch trying to get the pose down. Used a lot of photographs of hockey players to try to get this pose correct. So that was fun and came out better than I thought it would. And just some different ideas here, you know. Angry little kid, little sister knocked his tower down. I like this dragon a lot. I'm really trying to push myself to caricaturize more and not think about anatomy so much and what could be, how they realistically could be, you know, as I know in illustration, it doesn't really matter. You push yourself beyond realism and make a character that's interesting to the story, and that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I tried to do with this, and I think it came out pretty good. Just here's some more. You know, I like this one with the mouse and the giraffe. Obviously, I guess maybe he's going to get something for the giraffe. I don't know. I don't remember the story behind that. This guy is obviously upset with something. This was a drawing I did from somebody else's art, just as a challenge, again, to myself to draw it in my own style. And then here we are at the last one. This one here is based on a story called Caboose on the Loose, and I can't remember the author's name. I'll put it in the video. Just my attempt at making a anthropomorphic caboose, you know, with the eyes and everything like that. Came out pretty good. I mentioned earlier in the video about a small project that had come out of this 30-day challenge. It's nothing that was a result of any of the drawings that I did, of course, but having success with the challenge itself,
I wanted to take the next step and create a little story with some sequential art and see how that comes out. My initial idea was to create kind of an adventure story, where a little character goes on an adventure to either hunt something down or find something with a map and everything like that. Um, but then I wanted to kind of take a little different step and came up with a story about a little guy and his adventures with soapbox racing. So this is a little character I came up with, little fox kid, and just kind of goes through his adventures as a first-time soapbox racer. So I do plan on updating things here on YouTube if you want to subscribe. I'll post a video every so often. There is no deadline for this. I don't plan to commercially publish this. I may self-publish it depending on how well it comes out. But love to know any feedback you have as I progress. And I'm really excited about it.
So there you have it. That's the results of my 30-day challenge. I feel pretty good about it. I got a nice little personal project out of it that I hope to complete pretty soon. I never really lost any steam because I didn't put a lot of pressure on myself. I just did it as sketches. I didn't have a prompt list or set up rules or make time limits. So again, I do encourage you to challenge yourself, even if it's just a week or even a day, just a little bit to draw a little bit more. I know it can be difficult at times, so don't pressure yourself if you can't think of anything, but if anything, just redraw somebody else's drawings. That way you're learning, your pencil's moving, and trust me, the more you do it, the more motivated you will be to keep doing it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.